Hi, gang. Bob Boving here with The Mystery Project and the next episode of Peggy Delaney, written by James W. Nichol. It seems that Peggy's new romance with Carlos is over, but besides that, she has to deal with a doctor who was under attack from anti-abortionists, and that's only the beginning. Kyra Harper stars as Peggy Delaney in Going Public.
Hello there. You've reached Peggy Delaney, Toronto Tribune. If you have something confidential you want to pass on, just leave your name and number. The walls have ears. I'll get back to you. If you're calling to give me fulsome, unqualified praise for my columns, feel free now. If you're calling to scream at me, fascist, communist, cop-loving, cop-hating, pro-lesbian, anti-lesbian, pretend anti-establishment, crypto, Bay Street swamp pig, go for it. After all, this is a quasi-democracy.
Ms. Delaney, Dr. Joseph Cobb. Despite the injunction against picketing in front of my residence, they're back. Again. Different faces, same demented signs. I want to go public on this.
Why?
Why what?
Why aren't you seeing Carlos anymore?
I'm just not. Oh, I gotta get out of here. I'm late already. It's almost noon.
Well, that's because you didn't get up until 11.
How's the studying going?
Fine. So, what happened?
I just slept in.
You know what I mean, Carlos. I screwed it up for you, didn't I?
No. I want to spend all my free time with you. Only 2 more months, then you're back home to Dad in Vancouver, right? So, like I said I would, I told Carlos I didn't have any extra time right now.
But I told you not to say that. I don't want to get in the way. Now it's like I'm afraid to be left alone like I'm some stupid little kid.
It doesn't matter.
What do you mean it doesn't matter?
Because it seems he was at his old place back home where his wife and daughter live. He was there to pick his kid up and do, I don't know, some father-daughter thing, take her skating. Anyway, I guess his wife was there too, and Carlos was overcome with nostalgia.
Pardon?
He's moved back in with his wife.
Oh. I'm sorry.
Don't be. Actually, it's perfect. If he doesn't know what he's doing, what he really wants, then why should I waste my time, right?
Uh-huh.
Sammy, you've been fed. Twice. Please, shut up.
So, it's good. You're not upset or anything?
I think so.
Yeah, I've learned something, Mom. Since I've been here living with you anyway.
What's that?
Well, just as stupid as it is. Irrational, I mean. I do feel afraid sometimes about how you feel about me and where I stand with you, you know. But now, well, at least I know they're stupid feelings. It's not what's really happening. It's just how I feel.
Oh, sweetheart.
No, but it's good to know that.
Yeah, it is. Well, that's the legacy alcoholics give their kids. They make the world a scary, untrustworthy place.
Oh, you don't drink anymore?
I know. Know what I found out?
What?
Despite all that, well, despite me, the ties between us are really, really strong, aren't they?
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. I feel so lucky.
Cinderella Cleaning, where there's always a happy ending. Oh, yes, Mrs. Klein, the cleaners are not there. Well, you see, that's because it's not your day, dear. Yes, Wednesday, remember? It's only Tuesday. Tuesday! It's Tuesday! Yes, that's all right, dear. Tomorrow, yes. Yes, we will. Bye-bye.
Hi, Bernie.
You know, she must be 100, 110.
I just want to hang out. I don't want to talk.
Every other day she calls. What do you mean you don't want to talk? You're giving me cancer again.
Don't bug me, okay, Bernie? I just want to relax.
So, you look a little crazed.
Don't be stupid.
Heard anything from Carlos lately?
Why would I want to hear from Carlos?
You know what? You should go on a vacation. Maybe the islands. Okay. Florida. Paris would be nice.
With whom? I don't have time.
Well, we'll do something. Pamper yourself. Look after yourself. You obviously need something. Get a massage.
I beg your pardon?
I mean, like a manicure, a pedicure, a new hairstyle. Get a masseuse, you know?
Don't be such an idiot.
Okay. What are you gonna do then? You look like Edith Piaf. You're just going to suffer?
No, work. That's what I'm going to do. Morning, noon, and night. Work.
Thank you for responding to my phone call. Please, sit down.
Well, thanks for remembering me.
I enjoyed our interview. I thought you wrote an interesting, admirable series, but it didn't help.
Help what?
To promote rational thought. But then, that injunction I worked so hard to get hasn't helped either.
Oh, could have fooled me. I thought I'd have to beat my way through a crowd.
And the cops came and shooed them away. I don't think they even bothered to charge anyone this time. And if they did, so what? They'll be back. No longer satisfied with demonstrating outside my clinic, now they're showing up consistently in front of my home. Abortion stops a beating heart. And all the rest of it.
Well, simple signs. Complicated issue. You don't mind if I use my trusty tape recorder again, do you? It's just easier than making notes.
Not at all.
Good.
I don't think it's such a complicated issue.
You said you wanted to go public. About what?
The injunction against picketing in front of my house. It doesn't work because the cops won't come down hard enough on these people.
Oh, they fine them, don't they?
A slap on the wrist. It's always a first offense. Because they rotate new pickets. And besides, the cops, I don't think, are very enthused about freedom of choice and doctors who perform abortions. That's just my opinion.
That's interesting. If you're willing to be quoted on that, I'll print it.
I'm definitely willing. I want public opinion to put some pressure on the cops. I want some attention paid to what's happening here. Pictures of baby parts, blood-smeared dolls hanging from placards, signs calling me a murderer. My children have to walk right by them.
Would you characterize these demonstrations as spontaneous?
No. I would characterize them as the machinations of one man, Edward James Teller. He's behind all this. And he's a psychopath, as far as I'm concerned. He scares the hell out of me.
I interviewed him.
I know you did.
Oh, hello. I didn't know you were home, Joseph.
Some crazies showed up just after you left with the kids. About 8 of them.
Again? Oh, God.
This is Peggy Delaney. You remember Toronto Tribune articles?
Oh, yes, of course. How do you do?
Hi.
My wife, Caroline. I thought you were going to the club.
Yes, I did.
But your class doesn't start until 10:30, does it? It's just 10:20 now.
I changed my mind. I just didn't feel like Tai Chi today for some reason.
I see. Was Mel there?
I think so.
Well, he usually works out at the club every morning, doesn't he?
I'll talk to you later. It was nice meeting you.
Oh, nice meeting you, too.
I think that's gross, picketing in front of that doctor's house.
So does he. You know, you're turning that cat into the world's biggest suck.
Oh, he likes his chin scratched.
He likes everything scratched.
Those people make me sick. It's not like they're going to adopt all those children they want born. They're so hypocritical. You believe in freedom of choice, don't you?
No, I don't believe in it like it was an article of faith. Abortions make me feel just sad. So for me, it's not even close to a belief. I agree women should be free to choose. I mean, it's better than coercion of any kind, legal or otherwise. But something deep in our lives is really screwed up, you know?
so who knows? And who cares? It's 7 o'clock on a Wednesday morning. It's gray. It's snowing. It's minus 15 Celsius. And the wind chill has frozen the unmentionables off an infinite number of brass monkeys. Good morning, Toronto.
Oh, God.
Top of the news. Toronto's 6th homicide of the year. An operator of an abortion clinic on Gerrard Street East, Dr. Joseph Cobb, was shot through his own living room window last night.
What? E.J. Teller, isn't it?
Ms. Delaney, good morning.
Is it? Somehow I didn't expect to see you out in front of Dr. Cobb's house, given the circumstances.
What circumstances are those?
He was murdered, wasn't he?
I don't know.
Are these your people?
No, I don't have any people.
Nice signs. Can I talk to you later? At your office? Will that... Oh, God.
Peggy. Hi.
Hi.
I should have guessed I'd see you here. I'm glad.
Are you? I'm working.
Right.
This is Andrew James Teller.
Yeah, I know. Carlo Zabo, Metro Police. Homicide.
I'm just standing here, Detective.
I'd like to talk to you.
Oh, everyone would like to talk to me. Do I own a rifle? No. Do I know anyone who owns a rifle? No. Personally, I'm terrified of all violence, perpetrated by anyone on anyone, including unborn children. That's why I'm freezing my feet off. That's why I'm here.
Dr. Cobb's wife, is she still in the house?
She's out of friends.
Oh, all right. Thanks.
Peggy, how about a coffee later?
Like I said, I'm working.
Hello? She says she'd like to, but the police have asked her not to talk to reporters.
Well, thanks anyway. I didn't really expect to see her. I just wanted her to know that I'm terribly sorry.
I think she knows that.
It was actually Dr. Cobb's partner who told me Caroline was here.
Mel?
Yes. He was at the house this morning talking to police. He seems very distraught.
Why wouldn't he be?
He told me that Caroline's sister had picked up the children and that Caroline had come over here.
Caroline and I have been best friends forever.
And Mel? How far back does he go?
Well, I'm not sure. Joseph and he are partners in some medical centers around the city. I think they met about 10 years ago. They both sail. Or did. I just can't believe it.
Of course. All of you must have felt somewhat uneasy for Joseph's safety.
We just didn't talk about it. Caroline would never talk about it. She kept all that kind of fear to herself.
According to the police, it happened about 2:30 in the morning. Did Joseph suffer from insomnia?
No, they'd just gotten home just a while before. She and Joseph and Mel. They'd been out somewhere, talking or something, probably about business. I'm not sure. Caroline said she went up to bed and Joseph was having a nightcap, I guess.
With Mel?
No, he'd left. He'd just dropped them off and then he went home.
Peggy Delaney, Toronto Trib.
Yes, Miss Delaney? It's Mary. Mary Cuthbert?
Uh-huh.
Do you remember me? I was one of the people you interviewed. One of Dr. Cobb's patients?
Oh, yeah, sure. Hi, Mary. How are you?
Well, okay. Not so good. It's about Dr. Cobb. Can I talk to you?
Is this the smoking section?
Yeah.
Good. Quiet restaurant.
Well, that was the idea. Do you want a Coke?
No, thanks. I'm okay.
I feel awful.
About Dr. Cobb?
He was so good. He understood what I was going through. Not like my mother or Dougie. And those people outside screaming at me, sticking pamphlets in my hands and their signs in my face. Dr. Cobb, I felt he knew all about me. All the mixed up things I was feeling. Half of them I didn't even know how to put into words.
I remember you told me. You wanted to make something of your life first, so that when you did have a child, it would have a mother who was happy with herself.
I still feel that way. But it wasn't easy to do. It was horrible. Horrible. I think of that baby all the time.
So, are you still in school?
My last year. Peggy, that's not why I wanted to talk to you. It's Dougie.
Oh?
He said he was okay with it and everything.
Yeah, I remember that.
But he wasn't. Not really. And afterwards, he just got weirder and weirder. He claimed that it was his baby, too. That I killed his baby, and never had anything to say about it. One night, he started to cry. He just bawled, you know? It really scared me. He said he was going to kill Dr. Cobb.
When was this?
About 4 months ago. He started calling me Poison Mary. He said I was poisoned inside. He couldn't touch me anymore. I didn't want him to. I hid out at a girlfriend's house. My mother said he kept coming around every day for a couple of weeks. He'd just sit out front of our place in his car.
Lots of people make threats. They don't really mean them.
I never went back home. I live with a couple of other girls now. My mother called me 2 nights ago to tell me he'd left a message for me on her answering machine. I listened to it. He said, "Mary, guess what? I'm performing abortions now. 2.
What are you doing?
Just looking through these old tapes for an interview I did a few months ago.
Oh, you should file them. By date or something.
Yeah, I should. Oh, got it.
Got what?
My conversation with the boyfriend of this girl who was getting an abortion at Dr. Cobb's clinic last year.
Was he the dad of...
Of whatever Dr. Cobb sucked out of her and flushed down the sink?
God.
Yeah, he was the father.
I'm used to taping things anyway. Demonstrating, you know. I work at Triple Z Electronics. Out on the Danforth?
Uh-huh. Well, it's just a help for me. I can concentrate on the person I'm talking to without having to scribble down notes. So, Mary goes in on Thursday.
That's right.
How do you feel about it?
I think it's good. She's only 17. Even though I turned 22 this November, you know. But it's her choice. It should be. It's her body. And she's smart. You know, she doesn't want to quit school or anything. And I have to work all the time. So it just wouldn't be fair. I mean, to her. To stay home with the baby or for the baby to be at her mother's all the time, like, wouldn't be much of a life, would it? Besides, it's just like, it's hardly anything right now. It's just kind of like a little blood clot or something, you know? Like getting a pimple removed or something like that.
So, you're okay with it?
Doesn't bother me.
What's happening now?
I think he got up to get a beer or something.
So why did you want to listen to that?
I was just trying to remember him. What he looked like. Douglas Shepard.
Thanks.
For what?
For having a coffee.
I called you because I'm a reporter.
Oh.
I need information. I'm not here just to hang out like we did before.
Okay.
Particularly now that you're hanging out with your wife.
Interesting way to put it.
When I said goodbye, I meant it.
I can see that.
So, what's new with the investigation?
Not much. A couple of vague descriptions from an old man out walking his dog who noticed 2 vehicles late that night. A pickup truck, possibly dark blue, possibly dark green, possibly black. And a car, some old gas guzzler. Partial plate, a 9 and the letter T, in any order.
Terrific.
Yeah. Same M.O. as the sniper in Winnipeg and down in the States, though. One guy, a specialist. I think people like Teller know who he is. They protect him, smuggle him from place to place, scout targets, and give him all the information he'll need to carry out the job. Questioning Teller, though, is like throwing a glass of water into the ocean. You make no impression at all.
Really?
Uh-huh. I've moved.
You've what?
I've moved out again. It was just crazy to think my wife and I could ever make it work again. It'll never work again.
Oh. Am I supposed to be happy about that?
No. I don't know.
You bounce around a lot, Carlos. You know, you never did tell me what it was. Why you left in the first place. You just said you and Julie weren't getting along.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you sometime. It has to do with a cop who spent way too much time away from his wife and his kid. And some other man his wife met, who comforted her, more or less, when her husband wasn't around. It has to do with that.
Ah.
Not the kind of story you want to tell a woman you're trying to impress, you know.
You're a stupid fool.
Yeah, that too.
I mean, to think I'd care about something like that. Why would you think that?
Why do men think anything? We just do. That's all.
Carlos.
What?
I'm sorry about all that. I mean, I really am.
Okay. Thanks. I feel kind of stupid right now.
I like it when you feel kind of stupid. Instead of the big, tough front, you know?
Uh-huh.
Carlos.
What?
Well, it's just about Dr. Cobb's wife, Caroline, and his business partner. I think it's the same thing. I think there's something between them.
You do?
And maybe Dr. Cobb knew, and he accused them that night. Well, they probably denied it, and then afterwards, this Mel White, he drove Caroline and Joseph home, right?
No. Cobb had been drinking, but he refused the ride. He went home alone, in a cab.
Okay, so White drives Caroline home. She goes to bed. Dr. Cobb wanders around the house, unable to sleep, his life in a total mess. And then White sneaks back to the house, and making it look like the work of that international sniper guy, he kills him.
No.
No?
Off the record, Mrs. Cobb did volunteer some information along that line. Except she wasn't having an affair with his partner. Dr. Cobb just thought she was. He was paranoid about it. He did accuse them that night. They did try to convince him otherwise, but they couldn't change his mind. Besides, White has an alibi.
Oh?
Dr. Cobb was shot at approximately 2:35 a.m. The neighbor next door and the old man both heard the shot. A nurse had called White at 1:30 a.m. while he was driving Caroline home. A patient of his at Sunnybrook had just gone into cardiac arrest. White arrived at the hospital at 2 a.m. He was there until 4 in the morning.
He's in there. In the store, isn't he?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Selling stereos.
What did he say?
That he was sorry to hear about Dr. Cobb. Well, I told him I was just going around getting reactions from all the people I'd interviewed before.
How did he look?
Normal, I guess. I don't know. He asked if I'd seen you.
Oh, God. What did you say?
I said not yet, but I'm planning to. Any message for her? His eyes suddenly went all kind of teary. He said, "Tell her I loved her."
That just makes me feel so sick.
Well, anyway, I'm sure the cops will be checking out everybody who might have had a grudge of some kind against Dr. Cobb. I'll give him Doug's name.
I'm kind of surprised.
What?
That he's driving his pride and joy. That's how I knew he was there. See that powder blue Pontiac? It's a 57. He usually keeps it under a tarp in the garage behind his place. He hardly ever drives it.
What does he usually drive?
A Ford. An old Grand Marquis. It's kind of like a tank.
Is it?
Carlos's wife cheated on him?
Yes, and he went back to her, thinking, well, somehow he might get over it. Maybe for the sake of his daughter.
Maybe he still loves her.
Why? Why would he still love her? Anyway, it didn't work. It can't work. Whatever they had between them, she broke it. Oh, just a sec.
Oh, I love cell phones. You're talking to someone. Whoops! Suddenly the cell phone's more important than the living, breathing human being.
Hello?
Hi.
Oh, hi.
Just calling to say thanks.
For what?
For the tip. We found the car under a tarp in a garage behind his place. A real old gas guzzler.
Oh, yeah?
Interesting license plate. 922-THC. Been talking to him for a couple of hours. He just confessed.
Oh, God.
Oh, God, what? He's going back to his wife again? He's leaving her? What?
Just wanted to let you know.
Okay.
And thanks for, not crowding me about what had actually happened. My wife's affair. Took me a while to get around to telling you, didn't I? Talk to you later.
Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah, what?
You have been listening to Going Public. This week's episode of Peggy Delaney by James W. Nichol. Featured in the cast tonight, Kyra Harper as Peggy, Caterina Scorsone as Amber, John Stalker as Bernie Sniderman, George Buza as Detective Carlos Szabo, Peter Dvorsky as Dr. Joseph Cobb, Kate Trotter as Caroline Webb, Ray Landry as Edward James Teller. With them, you also heard Deborah Tennant as Joan Tershel, Samantha Reynolds as Mary Cuthbert, Sean Matheson as Doug Shepard, and James D. Morris as the Radio Morning Man. The music was composed and conducted by Milan Kimlicka. The recording engineer was Drago Grandic. Sound effects were by Matt Wilcott. Colleen Woods was the associate producer. Our coordinating producer is Barry Morgan. The program was produced and directed in Toronto by Bill Howell, the executive producer of the Mystery Project. I'm Bob Boving, thanking you for listening and inviting your comments. See you next week.